To do with steroids.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, the first time you used steroids on an athlete, how did that occur?
I had received some material from a chemist that I knew. I discussed this, I believe it was in September, October time frame of 1999, and thereafter I received a undetectable substance. And
who was the scientist?
Patrick Arnold.
Okay. And what was your relationship with Patrick Arnold?
Previous to that, there was a rocky history where we had exchanges on message boards, and some were, we debated issues, and so it wasn't the greatest. I guess you could say we were competitors.
But he provided you with what was an illegal, undetectable steroid?
Yes.
Okay. Did he explain why he was willing to give it to somebody who was a competitor of his?
No, he really didn't. He just, I asked him about pro-hormones and may have brought up the issue of the fact that they'll, for the most part, create a positive drug test. And he said that he had something that he believed was undetectable, but he wasn't sure because he didn't have the ability to have someone take it and be tested. And I had that ability. So I initially got some of the material from him and took it myself along with a couple of others.
Who were the others?
Jim Valenti was one. And collected urine samples and sent them in, and they came back as undetectable.
Now, you said others. Anybody besides Jim Valenti?
Not that I can recall specifically. He was somebody that I'd worked out with. We had a gym right there at the office, so it was typically, that I can say for sure, it was he and I.
By the way, do you know where Jim Valenti is living now?
He lives in Redwood City.
When was the last time you saw him?
I believe it was July 2006.
Is there a reason why you haven't spoken to him since?
He's got a new job and a new life, and I think there may be some issues there involving his wife feeling maybe that I was responsible in part for the trouble that we got in, and so I think that as a result of that there has not been communication, other than I remember that year and possibly the next there would be an exchange of emails at Christmas time just saying, hey, Merry Christmas to the family and stuff like that. So there have been some, maybe 2006, 2007, it's been a couple of years now, but just an email saying Merry Christmas, hope the family's well type of exchange.
Have you had any discussions with him about Shane Mosley's case against you?
None whatsoever.
How about with Daryl Hudson? Have you had any conversations with Daryl Hudson about Shane Mosley's case?
I have not had any contact or discussions with Daryl Hudson.
Do you know what the circumstances were that led Daryl Hudson to submit an affidavit in your case?
I think that one of the attorneys involved in the federal case may have talked with Daryl's attorney based on the information that was a part of the lawsuit that Daryl filed against Shane. And I think that in terms of public record, somebody enabled one of my attorneys to talk with his attorney.
Okay. Now, going back to the start of the steroids business, after you saw that it was undetectable, Did there come a time when you offered it to an athlete?
Yes.
Who was the first athlete?
I believe it was Bill Romanowski.
And how did you describe to him what you were offering?
That it was an undetectable steroid.
Did you believe it to be illegal at the time?
No, I didn't think it was illegal.
Okay. But you believed it to be a banned substance?
Well, understanding, as I do, the anti-doping policies and procedures, there's a catch-all phrase called related substances and related substances. So I knew that it was certainly possible that they could classify it as a prohibited substance and file a doping charge.
And that was the clear?
That was
The clear.
The clear.
And when, for the first time, did you use EPTO on an athlete?
What was that?
EPTO.
I don't know.
Oh, EPO. EPO, sorry.
Also in the year 2000.
Okay. At the time, how did that come about?
I believe the original EPO that I got from came from someone that I know in the Bahamas.
And who did you give it to?
A number of athletes, including Marion Jones.
And did you have an understanding that use of EPO was illegal?
Yes.
Okay. And how about insulin? When did you start giving insulin to athletes?
Not sure. Could be 2001. It wasn't in the very beginning.
And you understood at the time that giving insulin for the purposes for which you were giving it was illegal?
Yes.
Okay. Now, knowing that some of the things that you were doing were illegal, or believing that they were illegal, did you take any steps to seek to ensure that you would not be caught by law enforcement authorities?
Something I can think of is providing a cover story, for example, for the clear, that if athletes went through an airline's check, or because these were in small clear containers with no labels, and it very much looked like flaxseed oil, that the suggestion that they could use flaxseed oil as a cover story.
How about in choosing with whom to deal with? And let me explain what I mean. If a person who you had never known walked off the street into the Balco offices and said, "I've heard that I can get illegal steroids here," would you have served such a person?
No, I would not.
Why not?
At that point,